Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be building tank treads in Trailmakers. Now, tank treads are one of the most requested blocks for Trailmakers to add, and personally, never really thought too much of it. But as far as I know, they never confirmed any plans to add tank treads. But today, I wanted to take on the task of building my own engineered tank treads, because funny enough, I've built tank treads in a bunch of other games, but never in Trailmakers. I don't think. I searched my channel and couldn't find it, so I'm assuming it doesn't exist, but it may have just slipped the search filter for whatever reason. Either way, today's gonna be a unique experience trying to build tank treads. So the way that we normally do tanks in Trailmakers is it's just a car with a lot of wheels that looks like a tank, essentially. But for tank treads, we're gonna have to build a prototype here. Let's put this down as our base tank thing here. This is just gonna be, we're not really gonna be building a tank. Just so you know, this isn't really about building a tank. The treads are gonna be the whole focus of this episode. It's probably not gonna be easy. So in my experience in other games building tank treads, there's a key feature if you're going to do this. You're gonna need something with a lot of torque to rotate the entirety of the tread. So I think rotating servo is going to be the best thing for that. But the other thing is the tank treads obviously have to be a separate object from the rest of your vehicle. Thankfully, we have detachable blocks that's gonna take care of that. But in order for the tank treads to stay on your rotating mechanisms, they have to be tightened, because the way it spawns in before it gets detached, because we're building on a 90-degree build grid, it's not going to be super like fitted to your system, your roller system. So I'm thinking we're gonna have at least one piston. We probably only need one piston. The only reason I'm considering two, oh, it's actually really annoying that the pistons start off extended, because I want to extend the pistons to stretch out after spawning in to tighten up the tank treads. Okay, we don't use pistons, we use a rotation. No, we can still use pistons. We just make it so that the contraction is the extension. Oh, I need to change my colors here. These are left over from a previous build. Let's go with tank green, not to be confused with Hank green.
Good morning, John.
All right, so the way I imagine this working is I will use a pipe system to attach this rotating servo here, and I'll show you exactly how this is intended to work. All right, so now you can imagine that that's the edge of my build where that is there, but then when I press the piston button, you can see it actually extends by contracting. The piston contracts, which causes it to extend further. So problem solved. All right, so now we're gonna need at least one more. We're gonna have to have a bunch of these actually. Yeah, one out in the front. The thing is, I don't know how these tracks are gonna stay on. All right, then probably like one down there and one right there. One right here. Cause that back one's gonna extend. So we go in that way. I'm already feeling just how difficult this is gonna be. This might not happen. There might be a reason. I haven't really seen, out of all of the best builds I've ever looked at, have I ever looked at somebody who had made tank treads? Has that ever been a thing? If not, there might be a very unfortunate reason that I'm gonna find out soon. All right, so those are attached. Now, if this extends back, does that look the same? No, that extends back. I don't know how far I'm gonna have to extend that back is the thing. All right, so now I need these to be able to grab onto something. So I'm kind of thinking like, where's the friction blocks? Probably under movement. What if I put like a friction block like that, and then I just have it rotated? Oh, well, that's gonna interfere with this thing now. All right, but at least this is circularly symmetrical. So as it rotates, each one of these friction blocks is gonna come up and hopefully grab the tank tread. These might collide the way that I have these set up. All right, let me just see what it looks like here. Okay, yeah, there's definitely collision happening. Okay, so those can't be like that. What do I do? The annoying thing is like this thing is gonna be in the way. And cause like this one I could move in a little bit. This one moves out. Then this should avoid collision. All right, maybe this is how I gotta do it. Okay, so now what are these gonna grab onto? That's gonna be the big question. So whatever, it's probably gonna be like, I don't know, one of these blocks. Oh, these don't even, oh, I can't even like rest them on top easily. Oh boy, this is gonna be rough. All right, but we need some steering hinges. Set to 0 strength, I assume. Then we just got a bit of this going on. Oh, but then how do we do the 90-degree angle? Because then it's gonna add like a kink in the system. Because we can't just have the steering hinge 90 degrees in build mode. Oh boy, this is hard. I mean, like, I feel like this is gonna ruin it. But if I just add this here. And then continue my way down. I hope this kind of works. I don't think this is gonna be very good. Oh, this has to go down even further. All right, these aren't meeting up quite where I want them to. I don't think this is a system that just meets up well. How did I do this over here? So I just had another one. And then I had the 90 degree. But see, now this isn't matching up. Oh, here we go. I figured it out. There we go. Now it matches up. Okay, so there's that part. Can I make this any more small? I get rid of these. Nope, that doesn't match up there. All right, I think this is the size I'm gonna have to go with. This can extend out. I think it's gonna be way too loose. But now we have the issue of keeping these on the tracks. I don't think this is gonna work. Not only that, I need these to detach anyway. All right, so these are just a single line. They're not like, there's nothing keeping them on right now. I just want to see what happens if I spawn them in. I try to, that's not even, we aren't at all what we need to be right now. And then detach. And then go. Hey, look at it go. Prototype 1. Take a look. We're making progress. All right, back into build mode. I'm just gonna leave a bunch of these behind. All right, I think we're gonna need 2 expansion things. Let me just see how that feels as far as the expansion goes. We're starting to get a little bit of tension. And release. All right, look at that. All right, that's not a lot of something. I was gonna say that's something. It's not. It's a whole lot of nothing. I feel like part of the issue is having these so far down. These are like in by 1 and up by 1. Yeah, like that. Maybe that'll be better. A better position. All right, I had to rework this so that the hitboxes didn't collide with each other, preventing me from moving this up by 1. So this one's a little bit off from the way that the rest of these ones are. But what this should allow me to do, I hope, is move all of these up. But now we actually have a complication. Yeah, there we go. I think they should allow us to get a bit tighter. Let's see. We expand. No. Oh, that's bad. Okay, just not too tight. All right, now let's disconnect. Hey, there's some tension there, but there's something weird happening on that side. All right, well, let's start rotating. Yeah, see, those elbows ruin everything. Those elbows really do, like, they prevent the tracks from being straight. Well, I knew this was gonna be hard. I thought I was gonna be able to do it, though. Now I'm not thinking I'm gonna be able to do it anymore. Let's try something. Does this block? How are there collisions on this block? Like, can we actually get into that? Oh, look at that. We can. That might be good. All right, I think I'm gonna have to simplify my wheel system. I think I'm just gonna have 2. I can't have these offset ones. If we're gonna have any hope, we're just gonna have to really simplify things down as much as we can. All right, I think I'm gonna need a whole redesign. All right, here's what I'm thinking. Because I want to use these pieces, I want it to be too wide now. And I also need it to be able to fit. So here's my thoughts. I am going to use one of these blocks on top. Maybe I don't. maybe I don't use, I don't know. Now, if I don't use these blocks, or sorry, if I don't use these blocks and I reduce it down to one of these blocks, then I could have less pieces potentially by doing this, but this is still gonna be like a weird bend. Maybe I should have it alternate every other block. So it'll be like that. This is gonna be a lot of steering hinges. Let's just go with this for now. I just don't see how this is gonna stay on. Actually, I might have a way. Maybe. I just gotta figure out, I just gotta see what this does here. These 4 blocks are one modular section that I could just copy and paste till we get to the other side. All right, so now that we're here, we need a 90 degree. There we go. Now, unfortunately, I can't do a 90 degree right here, so I have to go one more, and that extends it by a lot. Like, this is flush, and there's gonna be a whole gap here. Oh man, I don't know about this. Well, let's just continue it, follow it through, see what happens. All right, so now what does this look like when I extend? Okay, looks terrible. Fantastic. All right, extend. See, look at those 90, it's the 90 degree sections that ruin it. All right, let's detach and then start rotating. Yeah, look at those 90 degree sections. They're just terrible. You can see, look at them right there. They're ruining everything. But actually, the tank treads are, okay, I was gonna say they're staying on. Now they're not. That was kind of better than I expected. I kind of want to add another set of these back the way I had them before. Just like one block down. Like that. I think it will add a little bit of, hopefully a little bit of structural stability. All right, detach. Oop, I didn't even extend yet. There we go, a little bit of tension. I can probably increase the speed a little bit. This is kind of looking promising. It's just those 90 degree sections are a little bump in the road. So now the thing is, how do I keep them on? But this is actually kind of working. I need to increase the speed a little bit. Let's increase the speed to 0.3. All right, see how this feels. Oh, well, that instantly came off. All right, I need to have this thing on like a pillar or something, a little pedestal anchored to the ground. Well, that's not very anchored, is it? Why is my anchor so loose? Yeah, there's a little, I think all the steering hinges are glitching things out a little bit. But, all right, let's go ahead and extend out a little bit. Stretch it out a little bit. Detach. All right, start rotating. Am I too extended? Dang it. Now let's detach first, then extend. All right, now let's start going. Okay. Okay. That's kind of something. The big issue right now is being able to keep it on, but that is looking pretty good. Actually, it's not looking that great. I'm gonna be honest. It's looking pretty good relative to where we came from, but it is not looking great. I think it's just looking as good as I can expect it to look, given how I have to build these things. Oh man, how cool would it be if we could set a build mode angle of these things, like 90 degrees or not. All right, now trying to do an idea to keep these things on. So one of the things I was thinking about is like adding these to every single one. I like we're gonna break something somewhere. Okay, maybe not every single one. I don't even know what, see these 90 degree ones, they just ruin everything. So those 90 degree ones are not going to have any on, but I believe if I highlight all of them now, copy and paste, flip 90 degrees. All right, let's see how that looks. All right, not looking good. No, this is not looking good. Hey, oh, this is looking good. Okay, now it... All right, we're building over here now. This will be better. See? Okay, so now let's go ahead and detach. Extend a little bit. How do I extend again? I just changed my controls. There we go. Extend a little bit. Oh, the ones at the bottom are glitched into each other. All right, maybe every other one needs to be on. All right, and then we go. Oh, they undid. Yeah, okay, they're a little bit too, there's too many. I think I gotta do every other. Oh, man, it's just not. It's not good. It's not good at all. I mean, I do like how the friction blocks seem to be like doing their job well and staying like hooking up in between the treads, but it's not feeling great. Yeah. All right, the problem is we also need to block it from coming off that direction, and that's probably not going to be quite as easy because there's more stuff that can collide on the inside of the tread. All right, so let's try every other one. The 90-degree ones just kind of ruin everything. Because if I do every other one, then we get here. Okay, this actually works out because then we're there. But then this doesn't work out because if I do every other, I would get on the 90-degree one. But this one, I don't even think knows where it wants to be. But let's just put that there and see what happens. All right, let's see how this ends up looking. All right, it's broken. All right, extend. All right, and go. They're not even like staying in contact. I think having them offset is a bad idea. Unless I have one like in the upper middle, maybe. But that's not gonna work. I'm gonna stick with this for now. All right, you know what? Let's just copy and paste this to the other side and see what happens. I don't think I'll need the pedestal anymore. Although I'm pretty sure these have to get reversed. All right, you ready? First tank tread test. Freestanding. And give a little bit of a stretch here and then disconnect. A little bit more of a stretch here. And there we go. It's not working. It is not working. It's working poorly. It is working poorly. I realize I don't have any steering. I should technically have left and right on opposite controls, which I will do. Because right now I cannot steer at all. Steering will probably pull them off. But in a straight line, they're staying on. All right, I'm gonna increase the speed to 0.5. And then I'm gonna make sure that these ones are W and S, which is fine. And these ones, I'm going to do Q and A. All right, so what this should do, if I detach. Ooh, oh, that wasn't a good start. All right, go ahead and expand. So now I should be able to do both forward. Uh-oh, I think I may have expanded a little bit too much tension. All right, both forward. And then I can do one forward and one back. Oh, look at that. This is where they're going to come off, though, I'm pretty sure. Actually, they didn't come off. Somehow they did not come. Okay, now they're coming off. Oh, look at that. All right, so how do we keep them on? You know what? I kind of want to see how fast I can go forward, though. Let's put this up to speed 1. Double that speed. All right, I think detaching first and expanding is the way to go. All right. Ready, go. Should I put friction blocks on them? I think I'm gonna put friction blocks on a couple of them. All right, I got some friction on the treads now. All right, let's see. Okay, well, that's the first time that happened. The friction pads seem to have completely... I don't know, that might have just been a fluke, right? Disconnect. Yeah, I think that was just a fluke. All right. All right, stretch them out and go. Oh, I forgot I have both. All right, here we go. I think I need more weight. Yeah, more weight on me might help. This is kind of looking promising. All right, let me try turning around now. There's that way. There's that way. This is kind of working. All right, so I think adding some weight to me might actually make it more stable. Let's try adding a couple of 50 kilogram weights to my bottom. All right, and surprisingly did not seem to help that much. It does seem a bit more glitchy. I don't know if that's the weight or just something else to do with it. Let's remove the weight. It could be all the tank treads I have spawned in. I think it's all the tank treads. Let's go to backspace. I think we've reached a stability issue with all these steering hinges. All right, I'm gonna add the weight back now. All right, expand. And go. This is with the weight on. Seems a lot more sparky with the weight on. All right, let's try it with the weight off. And I'm gonna make sure to backspace so that I don't retain any of the extra treads. And expand and go. All right, well, it doesn't seem less sparky. I do just tend to flip over a little bit more. I think I'm just gonna add a 50 kilogram weight all the way on the front rather than in my center, because it's the tilting back that's the problem. Wow, I still want to tilt back. It's a lot of torque. Oh my goodness, it's so bad. Oh, it's so bad. This is so bad. Oh, now it's looking pretty good. What happened here? Can I select all my shield blocks and paste them to the other side? Nope. Actually, it might mainly just be due to this one. Oh, no way. All right, let's see how that feels. I'm just on the right one. There's some extra shield blocks on the inside, which I'm hoping are going to prevent it from being as likely to pop out to the outside of the vehicle. Okay, here we go. Yeah, because now you can see there on the left here, you can see that those shield blocks are kind of hugging the servo. So I'm feeling like that's going to kind of keep them on track until they get onto that side of the servo, and then they're just going to get off track completely. I got no more tracks. It looked like it was working, and then it didn't. All right, give it another try. I honestly feel like they're making it worse. I feel like they're catching on that rotating servo and causing just more collision issues. So I don't think that was the way to go. I can't imagine making a change to this thing that makes it much better than what you're seeing right here. The biggest limitation, the biggest limitation I'm getting is these parts of the tracks right here. These create a kink in the chain of the treads, and I feel like that's causing a bunch of stability issues. Honestly, I almost feel like now that I'm looking at it, those probably aren't the biggest factor. I think the biggest factor is that I'm trying to do tank treads and Trailmakers. Hey, look at this thing, works great. I love this thing. This thing actually does work great. I should just use this. All right, you know, somebody has got to have done this before. I tried my best here. This is what I've come up with. I'm gonna save this as my best attempt. I'm gonna search the workshop for tank treads and see what shows up. Tank treads. Oh, those aren't tank treads. None of these are tank treads. Or how about let's go by popularity. Oh, here we go. Tank treads beta V9. Tank treads a little buggy. Yeah, no kidding. Detached tank treads. Working tank treads. Which one was made first? Never done before. All right, well, let's subscribe to a handful of these. I don't know which one of these was first. They're by the same person. Insane tank treads by Lord Laggy. That's not encouraging. These are the best of the best treads. Been working on them for 2 months. Okay, yeah, I definitely spent a little less than 2 months on mine. Working tank treads with tank steering. All right, let's just, this is also Lord Laggy. Oh, these ones he was only working on for 1 week and 2 days. Then he got 2 months. All right, let's try these ones by Bilbo Baggins. I don't know what tag to put it as. Probably, I don't know, tanks. Is tanks a tag? Okay, there actually isn't a tanks tag. All right, we're gonna try the ones by Minecat R. Is that just minecart misspelled? All right, so here's these. Are there instructions? Wait, what? I just have my mind blown. These tank treads are attached. Wait, hold on. How did you do that? What is this genius thing here? What is this? This is... It keeps it level. That is genius. And then it goes around the square block, like perfectly. But this is kind of cheating because these tank treads are they're not a separate piece, so you don't even have to worry about them detaching. This is crazy. The suspension, there's a lot of genius ideas with this. The suspension, so now I understand. So there's these ones working tank treads, but now these ones are detached tank treads by the same person. So what did you do with this? All right, these are like... So use that same idea with the flat connector. All right, so are these detached? Right click to detach. You didn't even have to expand these. They're so smooth compared. Why do you have logic gates in every single one of them? How do they stay on? No, seriously, how do they stay on? I can't believe how simple this looks. Well, I've been completely shown up by the workshop on these. This is crazy. Like, these are way better. These are way... I made a mistake with the friction things. I didn't think that these would actually be able to rotate them. I thought that these would just not have enough friction, so I used friction pads, but the friction pads have a collision block gap, which makes it so I can't build the treads in contact with them, which gave my treads huge slack. These ones, it's just already completely flush, so he doesn't have to do the expansion step. But the biggest thing of genius, I think, is like this attachment point right here to solve that 90-degree issue that I had. This is really, really good. Now let's see, can the other ones beat that? All right, let's go with Tank Treads, A Little Buggy by Bilbo Baggins. Oh boy. Oh, these also use the big things. Okay, so his solution is having 3 block wide ones, and then you have these little pipe pieces that are going in between 2 circles, and they're already out on this one. They're already out of sync on that one. So let's repair again. There we go. I think we just right click. These ones don't look like they're very high tension. Yeah, these ones are a little too slack, but they are working considerably better than mine. I think I went too small scale, but these are working. If these just provided a little bit of tension, I feel like this could work. How did you do the 90 degrees though? Okay, so this one does it the way I did it. Let me take a look. Yeah, they do provide little kinks that you can see. Yep, yeah, you can see them going down flat until you get to one of those 90-degree ones. All right, so you're dealing with the same issues I was dealing. Somehow mine cat R was able to genius his way through those. All right, now we have working tank treads with tank steering bionic by FGSGS1234. All right, what do we do here? Oh, this one used a similar... Oh, let me go into build mode. Similar genius solution here with the flat connectors. Also big wheels on this one. And then similar... So this is a combination between this one and this one. This one uses the flat connector. This one doesn't use a flat connector, but it uses these big wheels with a gap in between and something in the gaps. This one's using eyeballs in the gaps. So that's also another interesting solution to keep them on track. All right, let's see how this works. Right space. Right click. Okay, these ones look pretty good too. Yeah, they're a little slack, but by the looks of it... Okay, there is a point right here where it seems like the eyeballs could get off track. Well, here, let's try turning. Yeah, okay, this one gets off track when you turn. This is really close though. Why not put an eyeball on every single one? Wait, I may not have done this one right. This one says hold right mouse button until it detaches. Oh, I didn't do it right. If I hold the right mouse button, oh, it tensions the track. Okay, this is probably gonna be way different now. Wow, this does feel way different already. This is cool. All right, now let's try turning. Okay, yep. I'm glad I looked at the description again. These definitely stay on now that they're under tension. All right, these ones might be the most, like, legit ones so far. I mean, the minecart person was also really, really legit, but these ones actually have a security mechanism with a groove there that the eyeballs go in. So that's pretty cool. Man, people have really come up with some elegant solutions. I was like totally stuck. I was stuck, like I had no concept of how to improve what I had built. All right, so this is the 2-month one by Lord Laggy. So this one, oh, this is the opposite. This has a single wheel in the middle and then an eyeball on either side of these wheels. And this one uses this elegant flat connector solution as well. Okay, so E to detach, EQ to tighten. All right, we're tightening. I don't know how tight we want these to be. That looks pretty good. There we go. This is looking pretty good, actually. Wow, These, I think, aesthetically have the vibe. All right, now let's try turning. Oh, you can see the shearing. They're trying to shear off, but they're staying on. The eyeballs are working. This is crazy. Yeah, this thing just works so well. Forwards, reverse. Here, I'm curious with this one. Let's try to go up on this rock over here. This one is way more complex. It's got suspension and everything. This one's way more complex than the other ones as far as like, looks like the build mechanisms. It's got layers of rotating servos and stuff. All right, let's see if this will work though. You know what? If it had friction blocks, I bet this would work. I really bet that would work with friction blocks. You know what? Let me spawn in. I think one of the other ones with friction blocks. All right, let's see how this feels. Uh-oh. Oh, come on. Turn. Oh, hold on. We just need a nice straighter area. See, those ones, that one's long. The other one was long enough that it would have been able to do this, I think. This one's too short, so it's going to flip over. I don't know. There is something pretty elegant about this one, though. Although now that I'm looking at it, it's not quite as smooth because it is smaller scale. It's a little bit more blocky. Let me add some friction blocks to these ones. Oh, I can't. This is 698 out of 700 complexity. Okay, never mind then. Yeah, we're not escaping. We're not getting friction on this one. But I think the 2 months of work, I think it paid off. This is definitely, to me, one of the most, oh, excuse me, road sign. This to me is like the aesthetically and functionally, like it has all the function too. This one gives me the best tank tread vibes. What do you guys think? There's this, and then there's this. Who did it better, me or the workshop? I know it's gonna be very controversial down in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts on it. And it just goes to show that sometimes you can't do 2 months of work in a day. I think I just went a little bit too small here. But if you guys enjoyed this episode, you'll probably enjoy some more you can find right here on the end screen. Hope this video has earned your subscription. Anyway, this has been ScrapMan, and I'll see you next time. Bye.